All right, today I'm going to be working on my GE Profile French door refrigerator. I have no water coming out of this refrigerator right now. There might be a little drop coming out, but all right, yeah, there's a little drop that gets in the line and it comes out, but there's nothing. Okay, so I bought this refrigerator in 2010. It is now 2023. I've never had a problem with this refrigerator. It's been a great refrigerator. I've got nothing bad to say about this. The only thing I don't like about these refrigerators is it's almost 3 times the cost of a regular refrigerator. And because it's a counter depth, you only get half the amount of space. But it is what it is. So we're just gonna figure out why this thing doesn't have any water. So I can hear when I press this micro switch. You might not be able to hear in the video, but I can hear the water pump trying to work down there, the little electric motor trying to pump the water, okay? We're not gonna rule that out as being good because there's a little wheel in there, and if that wheel is not turning and pressurizing the water, it will not send water up the tube. But we know, or I know, everything electrically on this refrigerator is working properly. All these micro switches, these switches here, everything's working, because if those were not working, you would not hear the pump down there, so at the bottom. So I know everything electronic on this is sending power to the pump motor. So this video is only going to be for a water supply issue only. So if you're not having a water supply, if you are having a water supply issue, then this might be for you, but if you're not, then obviously don't watch it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the filter in here, okay? So inside this refrigerator, my filter is located at the top right hand side. It is a screw off filter. The first thing you want to do is going to want to check to make sure you have replaced your filter recently. You should do it at least once every 6 months. There is an indicator on the door that turns red on this one that tells you when to change it. So you're going to want to make sure you change your filter. If after you change your filter you still do not have water, make sure you installed your filter properly, because there is 2 ways this will go on. One way works, one way does not. So when you put this on, okay, you see that arrow right there? And there's an arrow up here. Those 2 arrows have to be lined up like so. Spin it, and it's on. And then the logo, all that information should be facing you. Okay, if you put it on this way, okay, you try to put it on like so. If I can get this, so I'm using one hand. Try to put it on like that. That is backwards. The water will not work. Okay, there's a little pin in here. There's a little spot on the filter that pushes that pin, and it will only work in one direction. Okay. So it's very important to change your filter, because if you live on county water, have a well, city water, every water system has dirt particles that come through it. And this filter has a fine mesh filter inside that traps the dirt. And they can clog up pretty easily depending on what type of water system you have. So, if after you change the filter, it doesn't work, and you know it's on correctly, it doesn't work, there's a door alarm. We're gonna go to the next step. Let me shut this door alarm off. Okay. All right, so while this filter is on here, we have constant water running from the water supply coming into the house through this down to the pump. Okay, so this is unrestricted water supply when this filter is on here right now. When you take this off, to keep it from spilling all over the place, there's a little pin up inside of here that it pushes, okay, and it cuts the water off here so it doesn't spray all over the place. So when we put this back on, and we're going to keep this on for the purpose of the demonstration, so we're going to line up the arrows, there they are, push it, put it on. All right, now we have constant water flow coming into the house, through here, down to the pump. So I'm gonna pull this refrigerator out of the counter, out of the space it's in, and we're gonna go to the next step. Also, before I go too far, I just wanted to show you this is what the model number of this particular French door refrigerator is. Not that everybody's going to be the same, but if you have this model, I mean, some models are very similar to this in the way that the filter works and where it's at, and some are a little bit different. But in theory, it all works in the same way. No matter which one you have, it's going to work in the same way this one does, okay? All right, so I just pulled my refrigerator out, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to get back here. The second thing you're going to want to do after you check your filter is, here is your water supply. Okay, you're going to want to cut that water supply off. Yep, who's that? You're going to want to cut that water supply off, unscrew this, get yourself a bucket, some towels, take this off, and turn your water on, and make sure you have water coming in from your outside. You don't have any problem with the water supply coming into the house, okay? I know that I have water there already, so I'm not going to take that off. Now this line, you follow this line, kind of loops around here. This one has a big loop on it, and then it comes up. It's going to come up here. This is the water supply, okay? Comes up here, okay? And this is we're in the back of the fridge, so the filter is on the other side of here. Okay, this little cover just covers the line. We'll take that off in a second. But you have your water supply coming in, okay? And then this is the one that loops through, goes through the filter. It comes back out, okay? So when it comes down here, all right, it comes right down behind here. And this is where the pump is, right down here, okay? So I'll take this off of here to let you get a better look at what the pump looks like. Okay, so these bolts right here, these on this one are 8mm. You can use whatever you want. I have a socket on the end of my little 1/4" drive drill that I have. So I'm just gonna use this. You can use a hand ratchet, it doesn't matter. So there's that one. Picked up that one. That one. And those three should be enough for right now. Okay. I'll put these up here. My dog is gonna steal them. Pull this back. And you are dealing with electrical stuff back here, so be very careful. Don't just go sticking your hand in there. Okay, so the next thing you would want to do, okay, this is the line coming from the filter. This is going, after it goes through the filter, it comes down here and goes to here, okay? So what you would want to do, shut your water off again if you still have it on. You're going to want to take this off, okay? Put it in a bucket, turn your water back on. If you have water coming through this, then you know your filter up top is okay. There's nothing wrong with that filter. So it's getting through there and coming down to this motor right here. So we have one motor here that's for the this blue one here on this model is for the water supply in the door, and the red one is for the ice maker. Okay, so if you do have water coming through here, and then you know that's not your filter issue, then you would want to go and take the line off the bottom. Can't really get a good shot of the bottom, but underneath there's another line. It's got a quick disconnect you can take off, or you can follow this line up. Okay, you follow this line up here, and there's going to be another quick disconnect behind that you can take off. And if you hit the button and there's water coming through there, then it should not be water coming through there, because if you do have water coming through there, that would mean everything was working fine. So, but if you don't have water coming out of it, if you do have water coming out of here, but don't have water coming out the bottom, or pressurized water, then you know it's the pump assembly, and you just gotta replace the pump. And this particular one, when I take this off, I do not have water coming out of this. When I turn the main water on, I do not have water coming out of here. So I know that this is the filter line, and the issue is with the filter assembly, okay? Something with the filter assembly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow this up. I'm gonna follow this up here, and I'm gonna take this top cover off. Okay, I'm gonna take this cover off in a second. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, I obviously know this filter assembly is my problem, okay? And I'll show you why when I get it off. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna take the one off the bottom that I was just talking about, and I am gonna take it off from there, and we're gonna replace that filter assembly part, okay? And like I say, I'll show you when I get it off what it looks like. All right, so these little self-tapping screws up here, these are 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that off, okay. All right, so there's a little cover that was on there, and you got a little putty up here. You just pull that putty that's up in there, just pull it out, okay. It's just like a little water putty in there, just hang on to it because you want to put that back in there. So I'm gonna just put this stuff aside, and I'm gonna go disconnect my water lines. Before I go ripping everything off over there, I got the part right here. I'm gonna make sure that this is the right part before I go taking everything out. Here is the part number on this one, WR17X11894. That's the particular part number for this fridge. So let's open it and make sure that this is the right part. And this is a factory GE part, not aftermarket, okay? All right, so here's the filter assembly. This piece right here will come off, okay? And then you have your 2 lines. One's gonna be your line to your pump, and the other one's gonna be your line to your inlet for your water. All right, so looks like it's the right part. So I'm gonna take the other one off. I'm back down here behind my fridge at the water supply. Make sure you turn your water off. Get in here, loosen that up. Make sure you have a towel ready just in case water comes out, because you're probably gonna get a little bit, not much. All right, oh, none at all really on that one. All right, so that one's off. So now I'm gonna head over here, and I'm gonna take that one off right down there. So here I am down at this one. I'm gonna unscrew this one. Have your towel ready again. Pull this one out. Alright, here we go. Just pull that one out, okay? There it is. Just pull it right on out of there. Okay, now, as you can see, both of these lines are loose. On this line, there's an extension on it, so I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to have to put it on the back on the other one, okay? Because these 2 lines on the new one are about that long. So this piece right here that you see, that's just an extension because this was not long enough. So I'm going to disconnect that really quick. Now that I have both of these lines loose, okay, they're the ones that go up here and go up to the filter. So now we're going to go inside the fridge, and we're going to take that filter assembly off. I am going to shut my door alarm off so it doesn't keep going off. So there we go, that's off. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so when you come in here, this plastic piece right here just pulls straight off. Okay, we'll just set that anywhere. Then you have 2 screws up in the back right here. These are 1/4 inch screws. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. I'll probably drop them and have to get them after, but. So here we go. Yeah, let me get my longer extension. All right, got my longer extension here. This is gonna drop down. 2 hands to get it. That one. And that one. All right, luckily the screws didn't drop. So I'm gonna try to grab them with my hands so they don't get lost. There's one. All right, so now that that is loose and everything's loose back there, we can just pull this on through. Pull it on out. All right. Now, when you get to this point here, they're both going to have the fittings on them, so they probably both the fittings won't come through the hole at the same time. So you're going to have to do it one at a time. There's that one, and there's that one. Okay. So here is the old filter assembly. I'm going to put the new one in here. All right. So with this new one, we're just going to leave this piece on here for right now. This piece will twist off. But we're gonna just leave it on there for right now, just in case we don't bang it around or anything like that. So we're gonna take these 2 lines, we're gonna feed them through. Feed these lines through. Like I say, you're probably gonna have to do them kind of one at a time. All right, and we'll try to do this with one hand. Push it through. Push it through. Until you get up here, and that styrofoam, that little foam should push through. If it doesn't, you're just gonna have to play with it a little bit. I might need 2 hands for that. I might need to pull it through on the other side. So I'll go back there and do that. Alright. I don't have enough sticking out here to grab right now, so I'm gonna go back to the other side and I'm gonna fiddle with this and I'll be right back. It's gonna take two hands. Enough push through on the back, I can grab it now, so you just want to take it, twist it around a little bit just to work it through the hole, because this is a pretty tight hole. And don't pull it through all the way, because you're gonna want some still inside. This protects it from getting cut on the metal and all that stuff. All right, so let's see how the front looks. Let's see, just about there. You're gonna want to have this lined up here, which is just about this notch right here. So you just line this back up like so. All right, so I'm gonna put these 2 screws back in. I'm gonna need both my hands for that. So let me just put these 2 screws back in. I'll be right back. So I got the 2 screws back in. Make absolutely certain, if you're using an electric drill or something to put these in, you do not strip them out. Put them in by hand, snug them up, and leave them alone. If you strip them out, it's gonna be nothing to hold this filter on here, and you're gonna be in big trouble. All right, so this is on here right now. Tell you what we can do, we can put the filter on right now. So I'm gonna twist this all. Seeing we're in here, I'll just put the filter on. All right, so that's that. So this piece is just trash, and let me get the other filter. I gotta twist it off the other one. Put this top cover back on yet with the arrow that we had here earlier, but I know this arrow needs to be right there. It's just easy to put this on without the cover on. Okay, so there's the arrow in the front. Okay, you're gonna push it up, twist it. Okay, and this is facing front like before, and I'll just get that cover and put it on. The cover, here's the back of the cover. You see it just slides on there. So there's nothing really holding this on. Just put it on, push it, it should stay. It's not a super secure fit. All right, that's it, it's not going anywhere. Oops, so that's that. All right, so we're done here. So now we gotta go reconnect our water lines in the back. You can't really cross these lines. This is the one to my left right here. That's gonna go to the pump. And then this is the one that I'm gonna put the extension back on. You can't really mess them up because this one has a threaded end on it and this one does not. So this one will go right back on the pump motor right there. And all you gotta do, if I can do this, you're gonna have to Okay, there's a little press-in fit right there. So just put it down in there, press it in a little bit, start the screw, make sure you don't cross thread it. And then you're gonna wanna take your wrench and then just snug that up. Okay, just to save a little bit of time, I put this on here, snugged it up. I put my main water connection back on there and snugged it up. Okay, now before you put your refrigerator back where it goes, turn your water on very slowly. Make sure there are no leaks there. Make sure there are no leaks down here. And if you have an extension on yours, like I do, make sure there are no leaks there, because you don't want to put your refrigerator back and find out you got water squirting all over the place. All right, so this one looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, just to save a little time, I'll put this on in a minute, and then you're going to want to go back up here, and you're going to want to put that putty back right there. Okay, so just take your putty, put it right there. It helps from any vibration of the lines. You know, you don't want the lines. These lines are gonna be a little tight, but you're gonna have to bend them down. And then I'm gonna put this cap back on. So I'll be right back. All right, I got the battery secured back on here. Got the lines on. I went up, I got this on. Make sure when you put this on, you wanna have this foam about in this position roughly. Okay, so you don't want too much foam on the inside and these plastic lines rubbing on this metal right here, okay? Because then it'll just vibration will end up sooner or later rubbing a hole through it. So you want about that much, you know, sticking past this. All right, I'm gonna push this back in, and we're gonna give it a test, and then I'm gonna show you where the failure was on this, and so you have a better understanding of it. All right, so I've got the refrigerator back in the counter where it belongs. I'm gonna take a cup, put it up there. We should have some water, and then when you first place the cup up here, you're gonna get some spitting and sputtering because there's gonna be air in the lines. So don't panic about that. So let's see. Just gotta bleed that air out. There we go. We got water. All right, now I'm gonna show you where the failure on this was, so you know, and I'm gonna show you why you should not use an aftermarket filter on these. Okay, so I got the old unit right here. And here's where the problem on this is. You can see this. There's a little pin right here. This little plastic piece, when you screw your filter on there, it pushes it up, and that's what allows water to come through. When you screw your filter off, that pops down and closes like a little, some people might say it's a diaphragm, other people might say it's a little, not a solenoid, but a little check valve. So this pin inside of here wears out, and when you put the filter on, it will not allow the water, it will not push that and allow the water to go through. Now if you use an aftermarket filter, it also might not make contact with that. So always make sure that you use an aftermarket, do not use an aftermarket filter, and use the proper filter that is required from your GE manufacturer. Okay, so any questions or comments? If I missed something, you can put it in the comment section, and I will try to answer all the questions the best I can. All right, hope that helps somebody. Have a good day.